There's no rehab. Try to cure my addiction, I relapse. They want me to fall laugh and stop that. You still hating on me? Call me, we off that. I got that new flow. Okay, go. That's so overweight, that's call me sumo. Nobody even holds my work so vein. Calling shit emotions. Number one greatest, all time hated. Still outspoken, I'm my all-time favorite. Almost famous. I'm never nameless, unsigned hype. Ain't no other way to take this. Number one record, number one happy. A one-man show, one-man army. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see, man. Float like a butterfly, sing like me. Thinking that you're better than me. The champ is here. Nah, boy, the flame is sing. The champ is here. Hands off when I step in the room. The champ is here. Jaw drop when they see what I do. The champ is here. Thinking that you're better than me. The champ is here. Nah, boy, the flame is sing. The champ is here. Hands off when I step in the room. The champ is here. Jaw drop when straight back to fiction. Number one sense, I don't like contradiction. Dr. Bill couldn't fix them. The answer to your problem, I 76 them. So what if they don't like me? I just stick to my agenda. If you ain't with me by now, I suggest that you surrender. A 2012, the haters in our end, they in Texas. This ain't Monday Night Raw. I ain't no pretender. Break the unbreakable, do the impossible. Swag so unique, no one else can make it rockable. I'm highly unstoppable. See me, that's improbable. Don't try to cut me off. See, my style ain't probable. Slimy, on top is where you find me. Fade away, haters like Jordan in the 90s. I'm like an underdog, sports can't guard. Not even Michael Vick keep me in this backyard. Thinking that you better than me? The champ is here. Nah, boy, the play the same. The champ is here. Hands off when I step in the room. Thinking that you better than me? The champ is here. Nah, boy, the play the same. The champ is here. Hands off when I step in the room. The champ is here. That's just what I do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to The Grind, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you know how it is, the realest show ever. We're definitely going to have some unscripted conversation today. Pam, say what's up.
Great morning to everybody joining us on this Friday on The Grind. Happy Friday. It's another day for us to wake up.
Absolutely. Another day to be great, man. Another day to be great. Welcome, everybody, Blog Talk Radio land. Thank you guys for dialing in. You guys want to dial in to The Grind, guys. It is Freedom Friday. The number is 646-668-2564. Again, 646-668-2564. If you have a comment this morning on The Grind, guys, all you got to do is hit the number 1, raise your hand, right? And we'll bring you on the show live for your comment. So we want to jump right into this thing in a minute here because we want to make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about today. And I got to tell you, ever since I said we were going to talk about this last week, man, you know, it's been heavy. It's been heavy, super heavy, super heavy, super challenging. You need to move over some, baby.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not in it.
You're not in it. Super challenging.
What's that doing?
I'm not sure. Yeah, super challenging. Trying to let me put the right thing up here. There we go. Hold on one sec, guys. Yeah, we got the wrong thing up here. Yeah. So super challenging, man. You know, whenever you embark on a challenge, you're gonna get some opposition. So just know that whenever it's a worthy challenge, there's definitely gonna be some opposition.
Right, absolutely. And, sure is.
Is love enough? That is the question today.
Right.
So, guys, we figured we would come out, hit hard. This is the first part of the Power and Partnership Relationship Series, right? So, yeah, we got to hit hard today, and I know that it's going to hit some people. Some people are going to hear some things, and some people are going to like some things. Some people are not going to like some things, but I want to tell you guys this. You are most certainly entitled to your opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we all are, right? We're all entitled to our own opinion. And the best thing about, you know, opinions is hopefully, you know, a person actually gives an opinion of something based on a real life experience. You hope that. But in a lot of cases, it's not. And you know, the old sayings is, you know, opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one. So everybody has an opinion, whether or not they say them or not. Right. So you see things that you like, you know, I'm gonna keep my shoes off for this one. All right.
Like a midget.
Because you are a midget, Pam McCray.
I needed some pillows to sit on.
Yeah, you need a booster seat. Something.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying
sorry.
to get you in the camera here.
You know
I
what?
get you to scoot your
I know
chair
what's
over.
missing. Let me go get my NutriBrush before this
Yeah,
conversation.
because you know, I like you raw and uncut. You can come on.
Let me go get my NutriBrush.
So guys, today is Freedom Friday, man. And you know, as guys, we got our mimosas on deck here, and you know, we want to have some conversation with you guys about something that is very, very necessary. And you know, like I said, when I said initially that we were going to do this, I immediately started to get attacks, right? And it's so fitting that, you know, I said in the last show, when you start to get attacked for something that you're doing, and it's good, then that means that you're on the right track, right? Sometimes, I don't even go to the other side of that, but you know when something feels right, but you got a lot of anxiety about doing it. And anxiety is a real word. Butterflies is like a natural thing. Anxiety is that thing that, you know, even I deal with sometimes when it comes to talking to people about sensitive subjects, because you want to come off the right way. Right? So you want to come off the right way, but you know deep down that, and I think you got a little taller when you took your NutriBrush.
I did.
So you know deep down that you're not going to be received by everyone. So when you finally make that decision, when you say, well, you know what, well, I know I'm not going to be received by everybody, so let me just be received by the ones that receive me, you know. And I think that's what we have to do in life in order to move ourselves forward. So that's exactly what we're going to do this morning, guys. Write the topic down. Is love enough? Tell somebody, guys, that the grind is on, and you know, you might want to jump on and hear what they talking about today. You want to hear this because this is going to set some people free. It's also going to have some people scratching their head to wonder exactly what in the heck just happened. This kind of transcends everything that I've ever heard. But also it may transcend, or it may agree or complement everything that you've ever heard. Man, I want to play this song by my man Avant because I think it's kind of fitting in some realms. I don't know if you guys have heard this song before, but you know, just check it out. I just wanted to play it. I don't have a whole bunch of super relevance today, but
Hold up. Go down.
That kind of way.
Listen, give me 10 minutes.
give me 10 minutes.
Give me 5 minutes.
No, just 5.
All right, but before you
Before
leave,
you go, just give me
these last 4 minutes. Pardon me if I'm talking fast, stumbling all over my words. I heard you was leaving town. I thought I'd be the one to know first. If you have a minute, let me talk to you and see what's going on. Don't say it's nothing when it's gotta be something that's going wrong. Now let me explain, but I don't know what to say, cause I don't know what the hell happened. I come in the house to try to work it out, and all you're doing is packing. Close your suitcase, let me think.
What's up, people?
That could be the reason.
I see y'all out there, man.
I'm
Welcome to the grind.
I only got 4 minutes. Do what I've got to do. You with me. Just 4 minutes. See what I got to say. Make a stay and show you that I'm changing.
What's poppin'?
I'll never have my girl again. I'm a loser to some other man.
What's up, y'all?
Only got 4 minutes. Who are these people? I don't know. And my husband is cracking my door. Taking furniture outside, and you all pull up in my door. What's the reason that I get this feeling that you can't keep it real with me? Is it because of the prior relationships that I had off in the street? Never mind. This is your conscience speaking, and you need to get your girl back. You gotta find a way to try to get to her heart. I'm taking suggestions, I've learned my lesson. And conscience, you my last timeline. I'm down to my last leg. Oh, man, do what I got to go with you. I'm gonna do anything. Only God, say what I gotta say to make it stay. That I change. I'll never have my girl again. I'm a loser. I'll be out alone. I'm leaving. Only that I've done things in my past. I thought this love would last, but I can't let you go, baby. You're my everything, lady. The reason I smile and the reason I talk, baby. The reason I breathe. The only one for me, yeah. You can't go through with it if you left me, my life wouldn't exist. Cause I'm still in love with you. And that's my words, don't give a damn what you heard. Oh, baby, I'll be true. Oh, man, I got four. And I'm running out of time. I only got 4 minutes. I'll never have. Oh no, I'm a loser. And I just can't take it. I don't want it to happen. I won't let it happen. Oh no. Everything I love about you, I need you. I'm out of time, on my mind, baby. Yeah.
What's up, everybody, man? We're all back live and in living color on the grind. And man, things getting ready to get juicy up in here. I can feel the stuff falling from the sky right now. So, man, y'all can tell I'm kind of stalling a little bit because I know, I don't think it's going to be that bad, though. I don't think it's going to be that bad. So, hello, everybody, man. We see you guys on chiming in. I see Sylvester Davis saying Greg Scott and Nika Scott. Who are they? Who are they?
Oh, because of the huge, trust me, the huge
No, I'm just kidding.
announcement. Yeah. We on top of it, trust. We have already spoken to them this morning.
Wait a minute, who is this? Oh, look, blessings there. Okay, so yeah. All right. So you may be in the wrong feed, Sylvester. But anyway.
Right. That might be it.
Yeah. No worries. We understand. We know who Greg and Scott is. We just messing with you, but you may be in the wrong feed. This is the grind, the realest show ever, guys. So we want to make sure that you guys, buckle up for the show. It's love enough. And, we got a couple of statements to make and a couple of questions to ask because some people jump on this call and they want the practical truth. They want to know how things really, really work in the real world. And they want to know what are the guidelines and what are the principles that you should follow to actually make things work. And we always talk about one of Pam and I's themes is always power. There's power in partnership. And there are a lot of different types of ships, right? A relationship is at the forefront of every one of them. So, we've got a lot of different types, but you got to make sure that you understand what type you're entering into. And I think that's important. So when we think about relationships, we ask ourselves, is love enough? And we're going to take the gloves off because, Pam and I, you guys have heard Pam and I's story and this and that. And, we always say that the only thing we had was love, right? Because, I'll say that and get into that later. Before we actually get into that part of it, guys, I want you guys to understand that there are 3 levels of love, all right? 3 levels of love. And the first level is mental, second level is physical, and the third level is financial. And guys, the mental aspect, spiritual, same thing. All right. So we can say spiritual, physical, and financial, right? So say however you feel comfortable saying it. We're all spiritual beings. I think that goes without saying. But mentally, I like to use the word mental because when you think about mental, you think about a person's mindset, right? How a person thinks. Let's just say it, whether or not they're crazy or not, right? You want to know, is this person sane? Is this person stable? You know, is this person somebody that I want to deal with? All right. And I want you guys to really see things in that context. Don't get super deep on me today. Okay. Don't get super spiritual on me today. All right. Don't get super, well, it doesn't matter on me today, because it does matter. And you have to define what your baseline is in whatever type of relationship that you're in. You agree with that, Pam?
Oh, I totally agree with
You
that.
have to define it. We're going to walk through this thing today, right?
That's good. No, absolutely. There has to be a baseline in order for it to be a relationship, right? You know, relationship, if you look at the word, I didn't look it up, but I mean, it means that the root of that word is relate, right? So you have to be able to relate. There's definitely baselines on what is going to allow the relationship to grow, to prosper, to continue to move forward. So there's a lot of different things that goes into a relationship.
So let's we're not gonna be Pam today. Pam is absolutely right. There's a lot of different things that go into the relationship. Guys, the law of attraction absolutely plays a place in a relationship. And so it kind of all starts right there, right? The law of attraction. You're going to attract, pretty much what you put out.
Right.
So if you show yourself as lovely, then you're going to attract somebody that appreciates lovely. Right. If you show yourself as ugly or crazy, you're going to attract that same type person.
Absolutely.
And there's always kind of counterbalances there. There's always somebody that may, kind of like transcend that whole thing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you are most definitely going to attract what you put out. Right. So with the understanding that there are those three levels, and we talk about those three levels, ironically, all the time: mind, body, and money, right? Mind, body, and money, when you translate it, MBM. So you've got the mental, the physical, and the financial. So I want you guys to put those three in context of importance to you. Put those three in context of importance to you. Just because I said them that way doesn't mean that's how they're of important to you in that same order. So, and I'm not judging anybody. Some people have more value on one than the other. Mm-hmm. And that's perfectly fine, right? It's who you are. It's what you see as what you need to thrive. I'm not going to tell you that your order is right or wrong, right? Because it's what you need. So I know that my order is exactly the way that I put it, that I said it: mental, physical, and then financial, right? Because to me, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter how much money Pam had. It didn't matter, to me in the very beginning. It's like when you first start out, you want to know what a person is thinking, right? Now, for men, I've said this before, men are aesthetic. All right. So I'm going to go into a real life portal right now, because, and Pam, feel free to jump in. Because I got a lot to say on this subject, and I don't want to monopolize the conversation. But people need to hear some of this. So men are largely aesthetic, and I've said that before. Okay. There's a reason God created a woman the way He created her. Right. Some of it was for nurturing of children and things of that nature. So there's a reason why a woman has, the tight breast that she has, and a man has the type that he has, right? And those they were created, and I'm speaking plain terms, guys. They were created to feed, for sustenance, right? To feed the babies. There was not always Enfamil and all these other fancy cereals that you got. Babies had to really eat from the mother's breast milk. And then came, right, the other parts, of the body. And so then you got the curves and everything that a woman has because of her level of estrogen, her hormones, right? So women have estrogen, men have testosterone. Guys, I don't want to get into an anatomy lesson or a physiology lesson, but at the end of the day, women are created differently, but it was twofold, all right? Everything that God gave a woman is functional, right, for reproduction and to basically replenish the earth. And the second part of that is aesthetic. There is a reason why women are pretty and men are handsome, right? I never want to be called pretty. I don't know about you guys. You never want to be called handsome, right? Right. Somebody said, "Oh, you're a pretty boy." That's terrible. When somebody says that,
Pretty boy.
"Oh, you pretty." You're a pretty man. I don't want to hear that, right? I don't think any man in the free world wants to hear that. Okay. I don't think any woman wants to hear that they're handsome, right? A woman will take gorgeous, beautiful, lovely, sexy. Men will take, those terms too. It's just not pretty because it's not a manly term, right? So getting back to the law of attraction, when a man, the first thing that he uses to assess is his eyes, okay? Because we are visual creatures, all right? We're visual. We like to see, we see what we see, and then we make the determination on whether we want to act on it. Women aren't so visual all the time, right?
No, not all the time. I think with women, a lot of it's mental. Obviously, our eyes see too, right? So
y'all not blind?
No, yeah, we see too, right?
But they say love is blind.
We see too. We like the physical also. Okay, we see. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. We see too, but in women, I would have to say that we look for. There's a lot of different things. The complete package. Right. Definitely. Where that man is up here mentally, because the mental capacity is going to give us what we're looking for as far as security. Security is huge for us. Security, safety. We want a strong man, not necessarily strong, muscular. We want a strong man that we know can be able to hold things down. For the family or in the relationship. And we look for honesty. We look for trust. So there's a lot of different things from a woman's standpoint that I can say. We want to be loved, and we want to be told, hey, the compliments and and all of that good stuff. Which I'm sure that goes across the board. But
let's stay right there, because we're gonna make the determination whether or not love is enough here at the moment. But
right.
When I just heard you say you rattled off a lot of things that you look for in a man right off the cuff, and none of those things that except for the physical aspect of it that you mentioned, none of those things are physical. They're all mental. Right. So she talked about integrity,
they're all mental.
Honesty. She talked about mentally being there. So women, and let me just say it. That's why sometimes you can see a drop dead going with another type man that you'd be like, well, why is she with him? And and I know you guys don't act like it's just me. Don't act like it's just me. I've seen it before. I know you guys have seen it too. So don't get bougie on me now, right? So you're trying to figure out that relationship. I can remember when Janet Jackson started dating what's that boy's name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri. Right. And I was like, how did that happen? Pam knows. I was infatuated with Janet Jackson, right? When she did that whole that Control video, Pam caught me. I was sitting on the edge of the bed like, wow, look at her abs. Right. I was infatuated by how she was able to get herself to that level of fitness and dance the way she was dancing. But when I saw them two together, I'm like, man, it's weird. But then you can start thinking about people now that kind of fit that bill. Not to judge anybody, but it is what it is. Women actually key on different things. Now that in the same token, that's why you can see men, right? Doesn't matter what type man, you can see a man with an incredibly unintelligent woman, right? But she looks good, right? She is so aesthetically pleasing that he hopes that she never has to talk, right? But she looks good, don't she? Right? She's like, oh yeah, just put your hand around my arm and let's walk. Look, don't speak. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Okay, this is the realest show ever, and you see that, and you're like, okay. So when you see it, you're like, she's with him because maybe he offers something that she doesn't have. Right. And it gets vice versa. He's with her because maybe she offers something that he doesn't have.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I wanted to bring out the fact that men see things differently than women in terms
Right.
of how the law of attraction works.
Right.
And there's really no such thing as love at first sight.
Right.
It really isn't. When you guys think about it, there's no such thing as love at first sight, and when you think about how that sounds, it sounds great. And I can remember me and my brother-in-law having this conversation before, and they were actually on one of the first relationship shows that we did. And he brought out that point, and I said, that's real. And I said, I'm going to have to write that down. I'm going to have to go with that, because when I analyzed it, I said, you're right.
Right.
There is no such thing as love at first sight, because when you first see somebody, you can't love a person.
No, that's not love.
We call that lust at first sight.
Right.
Right. So when you first see that person, aesthetically, you look at what you see in the eyes and you say, oh, she's beautiful.
Right.
Oh, look how she looks.
Because you don't know that person yet.
Yeah. You don't know
Right.
what that person stands for. You don't know what their goals are. You don't even know, who they are yet, and so it's lust. You see something that you want, so you go get it. So I'm bringing this thing around with a tip. Okay. So, ladies, I'm going to tell you guys a secret about men. And this is just a quick tip. We are aesthetic, right? So we want to see you, we see you, right? But in order to respect you, we have to see you in a certain light, if that makes sense to you guys, right? So I think what we're coming to as a society is less is better, right? The more of me that I can show, the more people that will be attracted to me, right? And men fall into that category too. They do the same things, but not just as much, and not as much as women. Let's just keep it 100. Women tend to, I've seen women dressing stuff to where it's like you can see the areola, but not the nipple, right? I've seen them dressing stuff where you can see the bottom of the butt cheek, but not the whole butt. And I'm like, when you see that, and you kind of like shake your head at the same time, you're like, I'm confused. I see everything, but that's not cool, right? Now, a man is going to look at that and say, okay, saw it, and then they're going to move on. They're looking for the woman that can present themselves tastefully. That's what they're looking for. And now,
so you're saying that when a woman is half naked,
there you go. I like the way you put that.
That's not appealing to you.
When a woman, no.
Well, I mean, or to men, let me put it there.
It's not.
I know it's not appealing to you
because I take it back to the mindset that the woman has when she does that, right? If you can be half naked in your bedroom all day with your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, but you can't be half naked where the whole world sees you, right? So that means you're advertising the goods to everybody. And I got to be honest with you, I just don't know how a guy walks around with a woman that has everything hanging out for everybody to see.
I agree.
I'm like,
and
that's mine. Everybody's not supposed to see that. And y'all can call that old school all day long, but that's probably why a lot of you guys keep going through relationships over and over and over and over again.
Right. And I would have to ditto that from a female standpoint. I just think that, and this is just my personal opinion, I agree with you 1000%, because if you're showing your goods to the whole entire world, and you're whether you got a man or whether you're looking for a man, it to me, I just feel like it just shows. I mean, something's going on the inside that just this is not normal. And honestly, you have to be able to. What are you saving for your man? Like, for real, if you're displaying it all to the world,
the nipples and the rest of the booty,
like,
and it's showing them now.
And what are you and again, what are you trying to attract? With it, what is I don't know. Again, it's that mental piece. What are you trying to attract, and what are you looking for? Is it attention? I don't know. But I just know that
again. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it's got to be attention, and that's just simply because, yes, it's okay, to dress sexy and cute, but there's a classiness to be able to do that.
Right.
Like, honestly, like some
sexy
of the clothes that they
is
make
not a
nowadays,
dress. Sexy is an attitude.
You seeing everything, you giving away everything. It's like, what is the world turning to? Like, for real. I mean, really.
Well, it's attention. So you nailed on the head a second ago. It's attention. Everybody wants attention, but it's just a matter of how you get it.
Right.
And I said that, there's only a little bit left to the imagination, but now
There's nothing left.
there's nothing left to the
Nowadays.
imagination, because everything, everything is sheer. If it's not low cut and high cut, it's sheer. So it's like you see it, and they think okay, they can see it, but they really can't see it. Like, yeah, we can see it. We see everything, and it's not good that we can see everything. And you're getting the attention that you think you want, but when somebody walks up and treats you like you're dressing, then you get offended, right? So it's like the old analogy. The guy was standing on the corner, and he had on a police uniform, and the lady ran up and told him, I need your help. Somebody's chasing me over here. And he was like, well, why are you telling me? And she said, well, because you're a police officer. He says, I'm not a police officer. And she said, what do you mean? You got on a police uniform? He said, just because I have on a police uniform doesn't mean I'm a police officer, right? So now I gave that to kind of lessen the blow, okay? So ladies, when you put on sheer things and things that just shows everything you got, there's nothing left to the imagination, then so you're going to be treated that way by guys, right? So don't be surprised if a guy walks up to you and asks you how much. Right. Because now you're putting yourself out there.
All out there.
As now you're advertising, you got to be selling something if you're advertising. But you'll get the people that get super, super deep with it, and they'll say, well, it's a free world. I can wear whatever I want to wear, and a guy still has to treat me with respect. You can wear whatever you want to wear,
right?
But respect is earned.
Kind of men.
Right? Respect is earned.
Right.
Okay. So if you're not earning the respect of a guy now, and this will be the same. These will be the same people, the same women that actually want a guy to love them as a wholesome Proverbs 31 woman. Yeah, all these things are thrown around, but these will be the same people that show everything.
Right, you attracted them when you was half naked.
Right. So
then
now
you wonder
what
the problem is when he's looking around at other half naked women when you decide to put some clothes on.
Mm-hmm. So now, since we're on that. Exactly. So now you're wondering what's happening because he saw you like that. So now everybody else, he sees them, and that's what he's looking for, because that's what he was attracted to. Right. Now you can't flip the script and say all of a sudden now what you're looking at her for, because she's dressing like a prostitute, you're dressing like a prostitute. I like prostitutes, right? And so he's looking at them, and now you get mad because you did that to get him, right? And now you're mad because he's looking at it somewhere else. So I'm glad we're on that part. So let's move a little bit. Because all of this is centered around is love enough. We just had to make that meander over to that part a little bit just to kind of set the stage. So the 3 levels of love: mental, physical, and financial. And some of you guys put those in different orders. If you said that the financial piece means the most to you, then that means that you are more so geared around being that person's business partner, right? It's like you don't have to look good. You don't have to, your personal life is your personal life. You can be a little crazy over there, but just, I need for us to come together when it's time to do business. And I need for you to do what you need to do. Right. And we can make some money together. Right. That's it. We don't call that a marriage, right? That's just a partnership. It's the base level of a partnership, right? Some of you said, I'm very attracted. I want to be somebody that looks good. That's the first thing that catches my eye. That's the first thing that it matters to me. If like Pam told me, like aesthetics matter to me. Pam knows. And I told her from the gate. They matter to me too. Yeah. Well, I can only speak for me. But it matters, but it's not, but it's a natural progression of things, of course. But here's the thing. I told Pam in the beginning, I said, I urge you this way. Okay. I knew you were going to go. Your fluctuation point. Okay. I married you. You look like this. Here's your fluctuation point, and I'm gonna abide by those same rules. Wait a minute, you gotta tell them about what you told me. Like seriously, they used to joke. Like seriously, and it's true because sometimes you can. I was joking, but I really wasn't joking. But sometimes you can get in a relationship, right, and then you allow yourself. You just let yourself go and remember that in a relationship, in a marriage, in a in a partnership, you want to grow together in a positive way,
right? And I remember Nate used to say, because I know, you know, what he fell in love with, and I know what he likes, and he knows the same, right? And so therefore we were attracted to that, and we've grown together. But Nate used to tell me, he said, so listen, he said, I'm gonna tell you. He said, here's your fluctuation rate. He said, if it starts to get out of control, I'm gonna draw this little hole in the closet door. and I'm gonna put you in it until your finger can come through that hole. You can't come out.
And I was joking, but I wanted to give it an analogy, and I said, and it was true. I wanted to know how passionate I was about us, you know, being a full-fledged couple, physically, spiritually, financially, the whole nine.
Right.
And we can't neglect one or the other, right? Because I hear people say, here's the thing. I love Pam no matter what, right? I'm going to love her no matter how much weight she gains or this and that, no matter. And I know it's the same with me. No matter how I look, she's going to love me, because love is not aesthetic.
Right.
Okay. I want you guys to know that love is not aesthetic. Love is a feeling that you get when somebody makes you feel a certain way. Right. That's love. Right. That's why people say, you know, I'm looking for love in all the wrong places. Right. So some of y'all wearing the stuff you wear and going to places you're going, looking for love, and you'll never find it there. Right. So what your values are, if somebody exemplifies what those values are and they meet that need, you eventually fall in love with them. It's a time thing. Right. So it's lust at first sight. And so you see what you want, and that's what you're attracted to. Right. But I think a lot of people have actually made and I'm thrown because I see my posting different things in the chat because it's for another thing, and I think it's a confusion. But anyway, it's thrown. You get thrown by the fact that when people say, I love you, and men do this a lot, baby, I love you no matter how big you get. That's just true. They do, but they love you, but if they married you and you looked a certain way, and this is going to be a heartbreaker for some of you guys, and hopefully you guys get it the right way. Okay. If they love you for who you are here. Right. But if you stop taking care of yourself and that fluctuation gets out of hand, then they become no longer attracted to you. Right. Okay. That can happen. That can happen.
To where you guys understand
that. Right.
Where you love, but you know, the situations where you can love somebody but not be in love, you know.
Yeah, you love, but you're not in love enough to keep doing what you're doing, you know. But you're right, and I love it. Love is an energy. I agree with that, and that's the thing. You fall in love with a person's energy, but when they no longer, when you marry, that's why I told Pam what I did. I said my commitment to you is to try to stay within my fluctuation levels, right? So for her, I said your commitment is there.
The commitment. That's the piece. You know, when you commit to each other, that means you commit to different things, to a lot of different areas in your life. And that commitment is something that you agreed to do in a relationship, no matter what, in order to keep the relationship alive, to keep the relationship thriving. There's certain things that you got to do. Otherwise, you can just find yourself coexisting with one another. If you're not doing the things that you know that your mate, that your partner, you know, that they love to do. You know, if you agree to it from the beginning, how you build it is how you have to maintain it. That's in everything in life, right? We talk about it in business, but that's for real in a relationship. You know, because of the fact that that's what mattered in the beginning. So how can you build upon that? How can you make it stronger? You know, what do you need to do?
I like that. How can you make it better? How can you make it stronger?
Right.
I think that's the mindset that people have to have going into a relationship, not how much I can take from the relationship.
Right.
You know, it's so if you, and I'm just going to say it, guys, in plain terms, if you let yourself go, you know, he or she will still love you, but they won't be attracted to you. Okay. So then that's how that kind of goes. And I don't know any other way to really say that other than to just say it. So you have an obligation or a commitment to the relationship to try and be the best version of you that you can be. Right. So let me put it that way. So when we really think about the epitome of what relationships are. You go into it like it's a plant. Like I ordered Pam a plant, right, and I sent it to the house, and it wasn't flowers. I could have sent her flowers, right? But I'm like, I wanted to send her something that she could sit on her desk.
And I wanted to post my little card because it was so cute.
I know.
But the kids, it's like they all in my office. I don't even know what it is.
That's kids for you. My mom and dad used to say, I can't have nothing for kids. And that's the truth. I didn't understand that until you get kids.
But it's beautiful.
Right. So when I bought her the plant, I said, in the note, I said, this plant is a representation of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Water it daily,
mm-hmm.
and it will grow.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what a relationship is. Ladies, gentlemen, you can't take your spouse for granted.
Right.
You can't think that everything is okay, just because nothing's being said. You can't think, because full well when you're neglecting or taking advantage of a situation, right? If things don't feel right to you, then guess what? They're not right.
Right.
Right. And you can't just turn a blind eye to that, right? Because things get progressively worse. And when they get progressively worse, they get to that point to where it's harder and harder for them to come back. Right. It's like gaining weight. The more weight you gain, it's harder to get it off,
mm-hmm.
So we have to be diligent and prudent in what we do to make sure that we're actually watering our relationships every day. So when we ask ourselves, what is the order of how we should actually conduct ourselves in our relationship, there's no real answer to that. Mine, I know, is mental, physical, and financial, right? Because the mental piece for me is that I want to make sure that I'm lucid, Pam is lucid always, and she, has her best mental health, right? That's important to me, because if your mentality is right, then you can pretty much do and build anything, right? You can build a great body when you have the right mindset, right? So the financial piece is last for me, right? Because our relationship has never been contingent upon money,
right?
Because we've had it, and we haven't. We've had it and we haven't. It's been off and on. So you can't base it on. For me, I never wanted to base it on money, because money comes and goes, right? And if that's what you're basing your relationship on, it's more like a business agreement.
Right. But when you look at the relationships that fail, the financial piece is one of the most important pieces.
It's one of the most detrimental pieces to the relationship.
Yeah, one of the most detrimental
it's not
pieces.
Taken care of.
But again,
sex and money,
right?
Yeah.
And but I truly believe, just like what you're saying, when you got it up here, everything plays a part, because the mental aspect means that you got the spiritual aspect, right? You got God first at the head of everything. That plays into the mental part, and which is first and foremost. You got the spiritual piece, and then the mentality piece, comes into play with the growth, the personal development, the working on self every single day, the looking at that man in the mirror to see what can I do, just like you said, to become a better version of myself. So that, because we got to take care of self first, and if we don't take care of self, then we can't be the best that we could possibly be for our spouse, for our mate, for just in any type of relationship, right? So you got to make sure that you're on point, that you got it right, that you're working on you, because none of us are perfect, but we're daily work. And when we work on ourselves, now we can be the best version that we could possibly be in a relationship, so that we are continuing to grow together, and understanding one another, and realizing that, there's certain things that we have to do every single day. Just like you said, you got to water a relationship every single day. Otherwise, just like that plant, you have a plant and you don't water it, it's going to eventually die. It's going to eventually, just feel like you're just there, you're just kind of coexisting together, like I mentioned. But when you have that different mindset and it starts with you, then everything can filter out into that.
And think about what you just said, right? Everything filters out. And think about what you just said about the plant as well, right? If you don't water a plant, then eventually it dies, right? And it's the same thing that's synonymous with a relationship. If you don't nurture your relationship, eventually it dies and you just become roommates, right? And it can get to that point to where, you're just really just living together.
Right.
And when it gets there, guys, it's the hardest part to bring back, right? So when you think about like in our house, I like plants in the house, right? And I tell everybody, don't water the plants. I'll water the plants, because now we've got people in the house that now will just go and when they think about it, they'll water the plants. So now sometimes the plant, it can get too much water, right? And it could sit there and it will eventually die if it gets too much water, right? And even in a relationship, you know, a person can pull away from you if you smother them as well, right?
That's true.
You know, so that's why there's the independence piece.
That's true.
That has
Where
to
you
be
don't
there.
have any, where you feel like you are in a box. You know, you don't have any freedom.
Right.
Yeah, you know, that type of situation. You're right. You can smother. You know, but that typically happens from a lack of trust.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Typically, if somebody's always concerned that you're cheating on them, it's
like,
probably
you know,
because
they leave the house. Where you at? I thought you said you'd be home.
Yeah. Said you'd be home 5 minutes. It's been 6 minutes now.
Yeah, that's a lack of trust. Okay.
Yeah. So nobody wants to be micromanaged.
Right.
So that's one of the worst things you can do. If you don't trust a person, why are you?
Because in a relationship, you cannot lose self. And that's the biggest thing. You know, you cannot lose yourself in a relationship. You have to realize that, just like like we talk about all the time when it comes time to a partnership, you know, Nate may be good at certain things and weak in certain things. I may be good at certain things and weak in certain things. But together,
I'm challenged.
Challenge. I'm sorry, you're right. That's a better word. Challenge.
Just messing with playing on words now.
Challenge. Right. But when we come together, it becomes, you know, a perfect situation because we're able to balance each other out. And so, you know, when you look at that, dang, I forgot what I was going to say, but anyway.
No, you said it all. And so we're talking about balance. We're talking about what roles you play, you know, in the relationship so that it can thrive. But the biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you understand that the relationship needs to be nurtured. Now, some of you, I'll give you guys some tips on men. Some of you that may be, you know, single, you're looking for, maybe not looking, but you're, and that's the important thing. Is ladies, you're never looking, all right? You're never looking. You are becoming the best version of you that you can become. And I'm going to tell you that man will just show up eventually. It'll just happen. It's the law of attraction, right? So when you start working
that work
on you,
both ways?
It does.
Okay.
It does. It works both ways.
We want to make sure the men become the best version of themselves.
Exactly. But I say that because the only reason I'm saying it in that context is because the men are the hunters.
Right. That's
right.
True.
We're the hunters. Right. And we're out hunting, and all you guys are really doing is making sure that you are being the best version of you that you can be. Now, we know that we talk about the lion tribe and all this and that. The female lions and the male lions, they both hunt, right? And to be honest with you, in most it's a pride. The female lions are the pride. Right. So the pride, they'll go out and hunt for sustenance, for food. Right. But when it comes to the reproduction, when it comes to how the male picks its mate, right? Go back to the Lion King, him and his wife, he picked her, right? He picked her. So it was more or less, he's the hunter and she's the hunted. And if ladies, you have to be the hunted. It's not a male chauvinistic thing. Okay. It's our nature. It's who we are. When we see something that we want, we go for it. Right. That's what I'm trying to relate to you guys. We have to see something that we want. Right. And it has to be something that we want for the right reasons.
Right.
A man will go after something that is not good for him just because he wants it, but he wants to go after something that he knows is good for him all the way around, something that he needs. That's where, I mean, when I'm saying ladies become the best version, because men, there's nothing taken off of us either. We have to, you know, when we're out hunting, you know, they ain't gonna start running from you if you don't look like somebody they want to catch them. Right. So the reality is, guys, ladies, I'm just trying to tell you to show yourself lovely, show yourself for the thing that you want in a man, show it, and it'll come out. And a lot of times the reason why people aren't getting in relationships is because there's a rift.
Mhm.
There's a rift there in what's wanted and what's needed, and men can be very aesthetic, and women are playing into that, right? But then you get something that's not what you need. It was just what you wanted for the moment. It fed the lust for the moment, but then you figured out that this isn't really what I need for me to move me forward, which brings us into the compatibility meter.
Right.
Okay.
And that's so important when you talk about compatibility. Can I say compatibility? Oh, that's a tongue twister. Compatibility. I got it. You're right. That's very important because, in a relationship, if you don't have that compatibility, then it's going to be a problem. Like if you don't have the same mindset, if you don't have the same values, if you don't represent the same things, and now you become unequally yoked together, then it's a relationship that probably may not work because, maybe you got together because of the aesthetic issues, just like you said. Maybe you got together because the relationship brought about a strong financial bond, and, hey, security was the piece and everything else didn't matter. But if you're not compatible, like you don't vibe off the same vibes, and it's not saying that you got to be exactly the same, because that's definitely not the truth. Because Nate and I are completely opposite truly attracted right here. But because of the fact that mentally we were able to relate, because of the fact that we have the same values, and we were able to now take our values and to be able to create, our vision and our goals. And there's certain parameters, there's boundaries that we have in our relationship, then it makes our relationship work because we have that compatibility. So that meter definitely matters. So if you're not compatible, then that's going to be a huge problem down the road. It may work for a second, but it's going to be a huge problem.
But when you ask yourself, like you said, what is, when you think about compatibility, it's likes versus goals, right? So you can have opposite likes,
Right.
He may like sushi, you may not.
Right.
All of those are small things that really don't matter. Those are likes. But at the end of the day, you guys still have the same goals. You're still going in the same direction. That's what Pam was saying when she's talking about being unequally yoked.
Right.
And a lot of people, when you talk about the yoke, they don't understand what a yoke is. And in biblical days, and when they used to have to plow the field, and by using the oxen, they were two powerful animals, and they would put a yoke around their neck so that they both went in the same direction.
Right.
So that's what being equally yoked means. And the thing that the yoke, right, is your values. Right. Your principles, your level of integrity. Yeah. Yeah. Those things that drive your goal.
Right. And when it's unequal, you think about it, just like you said, same direction. When it's unequal, now instead of going the same direction, you might have one trying to go this way, one trying to go that way, one trying to go that way, one trying to go this way. So it's so important.
Yeah, and it's hard to do when you're trying to achieve a certain goal, a certain vision, and so we have to look at the onus in each person for the relationship. Guys, you got to let your lady be a lady. All right, you got to let her do what ladies do. All right. Ladies, you gotta let your man be a man. Okay, you can't wear all the hats in the household. You can't be the judge, jury, and executioner, right? You can't be the be all end all in the relationship. And even with me and Pam, I'm not the be all end all. And I've said this before, guys. I'm just a fall guy. All right, I know that if this family unit fails, God's gonna look at me and say, "Why didn't you do this, this, and this? Why didn't you say this, this, and this? Why didn't you put this, this, and this?" So there comes a time when the man needs to step up. And ladies, this is going to be a shock to some of you. All right. But I want you guys to really, really understand this. Okay. All of you run around saying that, I'm Christian, You know, I'm a godly woman. I'm a Proverbs 41 or 30, what is it, 31? I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. And some of you guys need to really understand, you know, what some of this stuff means. Men, you need to understand as well. But when you're running around, I don't want to lessen the blow, okay? But in the context of understanding that everything is a pyramid. Everything is a pyramid. There has to be somebody that is at the top of the hierarchy, and God placed the man or the head of the house as that hierarchy. If you are not married, then you, ladies, gentlemen, you are the head of that hierarchy. All right, by default, right? So your kids fall under you. You are the final say. In a marriage, in a partnership like ours, you know, God gives a man a portion of the vision, and he gives the woman a portion of the vision, right? And as we move forward, you know, we're looking at this thing and we're seeing it. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I believe that when it comes to vision, I think I look further out, right? So Pam has more so said, you know what, you're the tiebreaker, right? But she respects the fact that of my decision, right? I'm not just making haphazard decisions. So if we get a stalemate in our house, you know, she knows that I'm a man enough to say, I've said before, you know, you're right, baby. You're right. Let's do it that way. Okay. Let's do it. Now I'm gonna blow you guys' mind with this right here. All right. Mm-hmm. So she knows that I've actually said, and continued, you know, let's do it. That's good. I like that. Let's do it that way. And then there are times when I say, no, that's not going to work. Let's do boom, boom, boom. Let's not do that. And she said, you're right. Let's not do that. Let's do it the way you're saying doing it. And there's been times when we've agreed to disagree, right? And when we agree to disagree, something still has to happen. We still have to make a decision on what we do. So she allows me to make that decision without giving me any animosity, right? Without dogging me out about it. She allows me, if it's successful, it's successful. If it fails, I learned a lesson, right? And I don't have to worry about her saying, I told you that crap wasn't gonna work. I tried to tell you. You wouldn't listen to me, you dumb joker. I tried to tell you.
Right. What that does is that just adds fuel to the fire throughout everything that we've been through. One of the things I could say as women, when we number one, that as you talk so much, communication is key. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the biggest thing, is that you're able to communicate in a relationship, because as women, we add that wisdom. You know, as we you know, look at different situations and everything. And so when you're able to talk and communicate in a relationship, you know, your spouse, the male may be thinking one way, but when we got God as the head, right? God first, and everything else, family, then everything else. And we're seeking him and his face. Women, we add that wisdom to, you know, to be that helpmeet, you know, to our spouse in that relationship. And when the communication is open and you can communicate, we're able to communicate, you know, certain things that can
definitely back up. You said to be the helpmeet, because a lot of people have never heard that term. Right. They've never heard that term. They've heard helpmate. They've heard helpmate. They haven't heard helpmeet.
Helpmeet.
Right. And you know what?
Helpmeet.
What happens here is that the helpmeet the vision. You know,
help meet the vision.
And I don't want guys. I don't want you guys to. I want you guys to understand something here. This is not a competition.
Right.
All right. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not a competition. When I'm just going to say it, guys, the head of the house, if you are married, is the man. Okay. Let's just keep that. If all y'all run around saying y'all Christian, I'm the head of this house, that means I'm the fall guy. But that doesn't mean that I tell Pam what to do.
Right.
Right. That means that God may give me a vision of something for the family unit, the same way he gave Adam the authority and the power to do what he did, right? The same way the man may get the vision, but the woman is there because the woman thinks with her heart. Okay. Right. You guys don't think like we think. All right. And when we think with our head, and we're like, okay, because we know this, we got to get from this point to this point. We expect you guys as the woman, as the helpmeet, as the actual, and I'm just going to say this stuff because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We expect the help meet guys to come in and help us fill that gap. We want you guys to come in and season the meat up. We want you guys to come in and make it better, because everything you give a woman, she makes better. We may have the first part, okay? We may have the vision, but we don't know how to fill in all of the gaps. All we know is that this is how we get started, and this is where we want to be, right? And so we need somebody to come in and help us with the wisdom piece, to help us. So, no, baby, don't use the salt, use the Mrs. Dash. Let's put this here and let's figure out, okay, this is this. And I like the idea that you got. Let me see if I can take this and make it better. I can give Pam something, and I can promise you I can give her an hour, and it's going to come back. It's going to be better than when I gave it to her. If you ladies, if y'all get this piece, I can promise you, when you grab this piece, all right. And this is what I'm talking about for women, ladies. I'm not talking to girls right now. I'm talking to women. If y'all grab this piece, I can tell you right now, the law of attraction starts to work in your favor, because we are geared to look for that help me. Okay. And it's not aesthetic for us at that point. It's about being the visionary and having somebody to help you meet that vision.
Help you meet that
right?
vision.
The moment I think Pam can no longer help me meet that vision is the moment things start to get off track.
Right.
But I want y'all to understand and keep this thing in context. Okay. Women, I hear y'all saying, I'm a boss. Cool. Be a boss. Boss just simply means that you're the boss of yourself, right? Be a boss all day long. Truth be told, we should all be bosses. All right. But you understand, what you put out is what you're going to attract. So if you put out the perception that you got everything figured out and you don't need anything else in your life, then guess what? Ain't nothing else coming in your life. Okay.
No, you got it all figured out. You got it all together.
Yeah, you got.
What's the man gonna come in?
What's he gonna come and do? You won't even. Here's the thing. You won't even step aside a little bit for God to speak to him, for the family unit to say, right, okay, this is the vision that I see for the family. You guys have come together. Boom, 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 and this is the vision. And you tell the vision, and you see the vision, and I mean, you just smash that thing. Nah, that ain't what we're doing.
Right.
It's not what we're doing. It's not going to work. You don't even listen to it. You don't even see how you can take it and make it better. Right. You just say, that's not what I want to do. Right. So we're not doing it. Right. And men, sometimes you do the same thing. You sit back and say, no, I got this. This is what I want. And boom, we're going to do it this way and no other way. So the woman sit back and let you fail at it or let you struggle at it for a longer period of time. Right. Now, when you have somebody in your life that can help you fill in those blanks, then you're blessed. If you don't, then guess what? God is going to help you fill in those blanks. That's how that works. You don't need when you have, but you're always in a position to attract.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to add this because we're talking about help meet in the vision, right? So I just kind of looked this up right quick, right? And listen to what this says. Okay. Mm-hmm. A wife is supposed to help her husband. But helper reflects more on partner, not assistant, partner, right? Because you're helping to meet the vision. So it's not like you're the assistant, ladies. No, we're here, all right, to help meet the vision. In other words, the husband is not the president while the wife is the vice president. Mm-hmm. No, we are here together to meet this vision. Both the husband and the wife are the president. Because the Bible says that they are actually one and the same. So we're here to meet the vision, right? Help me. Okay. Help meet the vision.
And some of you guys think you've been relegated. You haven't been relegated to a lesser position, period. Okay. And it's all a mindset, guys. This is just everything. You can't negate the fact of how creation came into play.
Right.
Okay. You can't just erase that.
Right.
So now if you're going to help meet the vision, then that means you got to step into the role that God created you for. Okay. You're right. So you can't use a rake as a shovel, and you can't use a shovel as a rake. It is what it is, and you use it for in the essence of what it was used, what it was intended for, and you'll get the best use out of it. So guys, we went over a little bit. We got to jump on. And this is the grind, really show over, man. This is just a series. Is love enough? And I got to tell you, if we had to answer that question this morning, is love enough? Love is enough, ladies and gentlemen, to keep you, right? It's enough to keep you if the right things are principles and are being followed in the context of the relationship. All right. So love is enough. It's enough, right? But you have work to do in the confines of that. All right. Love, guys, just fill in those blanks and you guys be good. So join us again on Tuesday, guys, as we continue the Power in Partnership series. And we talk about another topic, guys. You're going to like the next one as well. So join us on Tuesday of next week, guys. And we're going to jump into another topic about all about the Power in Partnership. And it's going to be a relationship topic, guys, much like the one that we have right now. So God bless you guys, man. Thank you for being a part of the grind, man. And we're going to see you guys on Tuesday right here. I want to, man, bless you guys.
God bless you. Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome, guys. Thank you for being a part of the grind.
Yes, thank y'all for jumping on. Blessings, y'all. Stay tuned. We'll see you back on Tuesday for another version of the grind as we continue this series on relationships.
God bless, man.